Hello. Welcome to the disco. To the disco. Please enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself at the disco. At the disco. At the disco.
Hi, man.
At the disco.
How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm glad you're here.
This is a thrill. Thank you for having me today.
This is great. This is my second podcast.
Yeah,
And I love this.
that's great. No, I listened to the first one. It was fabulous.
Thank you.
Y'all were great.
Thank you. Yeah, it came pretty natural because you're just having an unscripted conversation.
Yeah.
But the whole goal of it is I have too many interesting friends and clients to not do this.
Absolutely.
And you're pretty high on that list.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. That means a lot coming
Yeah.
from you. Thank you.
So tell the world who you are.
My name is Robert Hall. I'm Coach Robert Hall. I am the owner and founder of Atlanta Performance. I am the founder and co-owner of the Barbell Collective. I am the co-founder and co-owner of the First Tuesday Club, which you're involved with. And I am one of the hosts of the podcast Better Than Broadway, which is a pro wrestling podcast. It's so fun.
That's awesome.
Lots of hats. Lots of hats.
How'd you get started? We're going to get into all that, but when did you get started in weightlifting?
I got started in weightlifting when I was 15 years old back in 1999. I had been cut from my high school basketball team as a freshman. And I took that pretty hard. And the coach said, "You're a good player, you got some talent, you're just real scrawny, they'd knock you all over the court." And I said, "Okay, I understand that, I guess that makes sense." So I went to the gym, started working out, me and my buddies, 15-year-old, 16-year-old kids, you just, the testosterone's coming, and what do you want to do? You want to be big, you want to be strong. So I go in there, we're doing just bench press and pull-ups and stupid stuff, just regular bodybuilding stuff. And I see these guys over here doing snatches and clean and jerks. I was like, holy crap, these guys are throwing hundreds of pounds over their heads. I said, buddy, I think I could do that. No way. I was like, I'm going to give it a try. So I'll go over and start doing the thing. And next thing I know, the family that was the coaching back then, the chaplains, said, "You want to learn how to do this the right way?" I said, absolutely, because your form sucks. I said, okay, well, shit, I'll definitely give this a go. And I walked back into the gym on January 4th of 99, and I started doing Olympic weightlifting, snatches, clean and jerks, back squats, deadlifts, all this stuff. Second day in there, we're doing a competition this weekend. You should do it. Like, this is only my second day. That is wild. I'm like, nah, give it a try. So I do it, qualify for the Junior Nationals. Junior Nationals were in Savannah. We did that, really enjoyed it. They said, okay, you qualified for the next level, which is the American Open. And that's going to be in Tacoma, Washington in December. And I said, well, back up. I said, you're trying to tell me if I get really good at weightlifting, I can travel all over the country? They said, nah, fam, if you get good at this, you can travel all over the world. That's all it took for me.
Yeah.
I love to travel. I love to see other places. I love to learn about other cultures. And this was a window of opportunity for me, and I just had to jump through it.
So how old were you when you?
About 15.
Yeah.
16 years old, 1999. My birthday's in August, so I'd been 16 in August. Yeah, about 15.
Yeah, getting that core strength when you're young, built up like that, it's gonna last.
Oh, it's
forever.
tremendous. It'll last the rest of my life. Yeah, I mean, Logan Davies, you cut his hair. Dad Clay, it's Sarah. I mean, you look at Logan, the kid's a machine. He's 19 years old, and he was going to be 19.
A monster.
And he's a monster. Back squats 500 pounds. He deadlifts well over 500 pounds. I mean, I'm so proud of him. I've had him since he was 11. His parents brought him into my gym when he was 11, and friends. I consider those people family, and it's amazing to have watched that kid grow up before my eyes. And just, God, he's a savage. That kid's going to be good at anything he does.
Yeah.
Just because he has it. Piano beautifully. I mean, he's done Beethoven's symphony on piano, and it will touch your heart. It's incredible.
Yeah, he's a smart kid.
Smart as whip.
So when I first met you, one of my first memories of you is when I was working in my old salon.
That's right.
You just walked in there one day. I didn't know who you were. So I'm with my client, and you just walk up to me and you're like, "Hey, does your back hurt?" I'm like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" your shoulders hurt, and you start touching my back, like right here.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, so does every other stylist.
Right.
And you said you should start squatting. Okay, I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like, oh, I think he's with Amber, and I think he lifts weights or something.
Yeah.
Fast forward, you get me in the gym.
That's right.
I do start squatting. I do start working on my shoulders, and lo and behold, my back pain starts to disappear. Magic. But
Or science, whichever.
yeah, one of the two. But it is amazing how, as a stylist, I've realized that if you want to make it in this industry, you have to play the long game.
Oh man.
And if you're going to play the long game, you got to be healthy.
Absolutely.
And you have to have a strong back.
Oh, 100%.
And working with you was my first introduction. I'd been in the gym a few times, but I didn't really know what I was doing. Definitely didn't know my way around a barbell. And working with you and just getting the knowledge of the basics of how to pull right, how to do a correct deadlift. Those were that was the very beginning of my journey into fitness. And like now it's part of my weekly routine.
That's
like
wonderful.
I have to have it.
That's great, brother.
And if I don't do it, if I slip out of it and I start working in here, like I'll feel my back start to twinge a little bit because
same.
gotta keep it.
Oh, same.
Gotta
Dude,
keep
like
it
my
going.
shoulder has been jacked up for a good long time. I injured it in 2019. And we've been trying to get fixed in delays and pandemics and nonsense. When I don't train, I feel like absolute trash. My body just aches worse than it does when I train. I mean, it's a different feeling. I mean, our bodies are meant to move. We're supposed to be moving every day. They say 10,000 steps. I mean, that's great. That's a start. But if you can lift weights, if you can keep lean muscle mass on your body for an extended period of time, if you can maintain leg strength, you're going to live forever. I mean, leg strength is one of the biggest indicators of how you're going to do in your 60s, 70s, 80s. I mean, one of my coaches just passed away recently in his mid-80s, and this is a guy that squatted 400 pounds at 80 years old.
Wow.
It was incredible. He's a Hungarian world champion. He was a very smart man, strong as a whip. And he always would say to me, like, "Oh, Robert, your squat is shit. You must get stronger." And so we did. And he's like, "You want to be lift weights? You want to beat the shit out of everybody? You must train." I mean, they put us to work. I mean, I had some great weightlifting coaches over my career, and learning things at a young age is great. But being able to pass on a lot of this knowledge and to even discover some things on my own has been special. And I'm glad that I get to teach my friends. I've worked with your son, with Owen. It's a blessing in life that we get to do what we love to do every day. You, me, a lot of our friends.
Yeah, I gotta get Owen back in there.
I'm ready for him.
Yeah, we had him lift with you before COVID at your old gym,
That's right.
and he loved it. He's a very solo sport type of kid. Like when he's competing against himself, he does great.
I think he'd be a great weightlifter.
And he loved every week because you kept the PRs on the board. Every week when he came in, it was like our thing. If he got a new PR that week, we went and got a donut.
That's badass. I love that.
Celebrating a PR with a donut.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love intrinsic and extrinsic rewards and things like that. I think that's so important, especially for kids.
Yeah.
Because then it teaches them the value of something like lifelong fitness. I think that's just so critically important. So gold star to you, parenting done well, folks. That's the lesson.
I use treats and rewards for myself all the time. Like when I set a goal, I write it out of what my goal is. And then I write out how you're going to do it, just the first steps. You don't have to know the whole thing, but you got to know how to at least start.
Hell yeah.
And then I write out the feeling that it feels like when I've accomplished it, and I focus on that feeling. But then I also write out what's my reward going to be. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be like popping champagne on top of a mountain. But, it could be. It has to be something. Because once it could just be like, I'm going to eat a Snickers.
Yeah, boy.
I'm going to eat a Snickers in the salon alone.
We should do that today.
That'd be great. It has to be something
Yeah.
that makes you feel like I did it. Because once I eat that Snickers in the salon alone, it's done.
Yeah.
I did my goal.
That's fantastic. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna use that. I really like that.
I don't even remember if I got those 4 steps from a book. It might have been,
Maybe.
but it might have been like somebody I heard it from, picked it up from. But I'm a big fan of treats.
I like that.
Even I'm doing this 37 hair challenge, Amber's challenge. It's no alcohol.
Which is a phenomenal idea, by the way. That is some next level stuff. Fantastic.
It's great for hairstylists. It's great for anybody, but
Great about it, yeah.
But specifically this industry, it's great. But with mine, no drinking. The way, for me, how I'm able to not drink beer, usually beer is my go-to. I just have to have a treat at the end of the day. Usually it's a beer, but when I'm not drinking, it's either like a Liquid Death or
Sprite.
Sprite Zero.
My man.
That's I'm sure it is no better for you. It's probably got some cancer shit in it too. But that's my replacement. As long as I have a replacement and a reward at the end of the day, I can do it.
Yeah. I'm glad you're doing that. 'Cause I think, especially in your industry, there's always been that stigma that people don't really take care of themselves in your industry. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about the hair industry, but I've worked with several stylists in the gym, and they all complain of the same thing. Back's tight, lower back, upper back, shoulders are beat up, and there needs to be something to help. And I think this 37 hair thing is a fabulous idea, because when people really take the time to use their influence for things that are positive, that's when the biggest splash is made. That's when impact is made. And I think it's wonderful, and I'm glad that you're doing it along with several others. It's awesome.
I have a few friends that are doing it, a few stylist friends that are doing it, and it's not like they're not being like super loud about it on social media. I think you can do it in your own way, but it's been surprising just to see my friends that are doing it and be like, oh, I wouldn't picture you necessarily doing it, but I'm glad you're taking that step.
Awesome.
So you obviously have Atlanta Performance, and then you have your PT work as well, right?
Yes. Atlanta Performance has several branches, many roots, one tree. Atlanta Performance started out as Olympic weightlifting and sports performance, and I had an opportunity in 2019 to go to a physical therapy office. They were looking for somebody to work with their Parkinson's client. They had some people with Parkinson's, movement disorders, things like that. I have a lot of experience with that. So I took the experience that I had, and I have about a dozen people that I work with a week over there at the PT office. It's one-on-one physical therapy, and it's a great office. And I really love being there. The people are hilarious.
We got to talk about Marcel.
For those of you that follow my social media.
What's your Instagram?
Dad Bod Barbell. We have Atlanta Performance, the social media for Atlanta Performance on Instagram, but we also have Dad Bod Barbell. And if you follow Dad Bod Barbell, it's a mouthful, Mornings with Marcel. And as a matter of fact, I need to go ahead and post those videos from this morning. A sweet girl had the flu last week, and she wasn't in the gym. So she pulls up in her car.
And how old is she?
She's pushing 80.
Yeah.
We won't go into it.
She's a character.
She's a doll. She's such a character. And I was like, hey, Marcel, it's good to see you back here. Are you ready to work out? She says, I was feeling great until I saw you. I'll post that video later. I'll even tag you. Shit. But she's a character, and she's a sweetheart.
She seems like she's there every week.
Yeah, she comes in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with her group of friends. There's 4 ladies that all go together. They're like the Golden Girls in a lot of ways. They have the sass, and they have the clinical thought process. Everybody has their different little characteristics about themselves, their own personalities. I just adore them. I think they're great. And they come in at 10 o'clock every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They ride the bike. They yell at me. I yell at them. They go home. It's sweet. And I took them to lunch not terribly long ago. Took my weightlifting team out to dinner. So I took the girls out to lunch after we worked out. And we had a ball. It was great.
Nice
little Christmas roundup.
So when you're doing that, you're obviously working with mostly older people. We were talking right before we started the show about your older guy who just lost his wife.
Yeah.
And working with older people, and occasionally I get to with my job too, I just love the conversations I have.
I do too.
And I think it's something we don't do a lot in our culture, is have connections with an older generation.
Right.
Whether it's the father or mother or that generation. Just don't talk to
No.
older people that much.
No. And I think that's terrible. I mean, think about all of the life experience that they've had and the knowledge that they can impart to us. The generation that fought World War II is just about gone. Tom Brokaw called them the greatest generation. They survived the Great Depression. They survived World War II. They saw the invention of the television. They saw the invention of the internet in lesser ways. But like all these things that they saw over their lifetime, they've seen the stock market crash multiple times and rise multiple times. And the knowledge that they can impart to us as a younger generation, I guess they would call us millennials. I guess that's what we are. There's so many things that are going to be lost to our generation that we're not going to be able to impart to our kids. Something that I love that you do is you are incredibly handy. You built this place pretty much by yourself, which is a tremendous testament to not only your skill set, but also your work ethic.
Had some help from some really good friends.
Yeah, okay. Wink. At the same time, I came in here and I held a ladder for you. I mean, I may have dragged some wires for you, but I mean, for the most part, you're in here, you're drilling everything down, painting everything, staining everything. I mean, I was just in awe of the whole process. Cool to just see how things went. But, I mean, I'm guessing you had some people in your life that were able to impart these skills and this knowledge onto you.
Yeah, I grew up a construction brat. Dad owned a drywall company.
Right on.
And, he taught me a lot, but he also, I think the biggest thing he taught me was that you can figure it out. And when I was 10 years old, but the internet wasn't what it is today. YouTube was not what it is today. But he instilled in me a curiosity of, if you just keep trying, you'll figure it out. If you keep trying and ask the right people, you can figure it out.
Hell yeah.
Because my dad was a little bit of a mechanic. He was super handy. And he didn't know everything, but he just kept trying and figured things out. And I think he really instilled that in me. And most of the things I've learned from YouTube and by fucking up. I don't know where I originally heard this, but the phrase is, it's only a mistake if you didn't learn something.
That's fair.
You just got to keep trying.
Yeah.
And this salon build out was probably, I think, like the third or fourth salon build out I've done.
Is that right?
So I got a couple underneath my belt.
Nice.
And I've fucked up a lot. I've made
That's
made some bad decisions in the build out, but I learned something. You just got to not be afraid of making mistakes.
Sure.
And even with this build, I made plenty of mistakes.
Right. That goes back to the mindset of succeed or learn. You don't succeed or fail. You succeed or learn. If you
Right.
learn something, then yeah, you're good. You didn't fail. You're trying to figure out a better way to do it.
But yeah, YouTube. I don't know where I would be if I didn't learn all the things I've learned from YouTube.
YouTube is incredible. What a resource. I mean, so many of us just watch random ass videos and shorts and crap like that. You can learn anything on YouTube.
You really can.
Anything. It's amazing how valuable that resource is and what 90% of the population use it for.
I think it's going to be interesting in 10 years looking back on the people who, let's say, went to college versus didn't go to college and just used the internet to figure out things.
Yeah.
And I'm not dogging on college because it has its place.
Sure.
But it's just such a crazy time to be alive
Right.
for what you can just learn
Sure.
online.
But to be able to get a free education that would cost somebody else $100,000, Harvard,
But-
Harvard.
I mean, even learning how to lift weights.
Yeah.
You can learn that. You can learn a lot on YouTube.
Oh, you can.
But
Absolutely.
But what you don't get is like a coach like you,
Fair.
who, because you don't necessarily see yourself when you're lifting weights.
Not entirely, no.
You can watch somebody else do it and be like, okay, that
Sure.
gives me a good starting place.
Sure. You can video. I mean, you can do
Mhm.
things like that. Having someone in your ear making instant corrections is valuable.
Yeah. And I think when I started getting into weightlifting, it was something I always wanted to do. When I did go to the gym, I would see people with a barbell and think, yeah, I want to do that. But if I go to do that, I'm going to really hurt myself. So I always stayed away from it. Having a coach, when you started coaching me, was like, okay, now I can go for this because you're going to tell me when I'm fucking up. You're going to tell me
course.
when I'm going to hurt my back or when to back off or you're
Right.
doing that squat completely wrong. So it's extremely valuable. If you're considering getting into weightlifting, get a coach.
Come see me.
Come see
We'll hang
Rob.
out. We're down the street at Village Fitness in Glenwood in
And-
EAV.
And you're swamped, right?
Swamped.
That's great.
It's great. Oh my God, it's wonderful. I have 3 fabulous coaches on staff. I have Allie Moore, who's just my right hand, and she's just the best. She keeps me in line when I get out of line, and I get out of line quite a bit. And I have Logan Osborne, who just came to us from UVA and Shorter College in Rome, Georgia. Really brilliant mind for it. And I have Alana Andrade, who is our front desk lady at Village Fitness, and she's Venezuelan, and she is just the sweetest human being you've ever met in your life. And she's just smart as a whip. She, in the last year, took 3 coaching certification courses, and she is building her client list slowly and steadily. Hell, she bought herself a car a couple of weeks ago. She called me and said, Profe, she calls me Profe, which is Professor. She said, Profe, I bought a car today. And I said, I bought a car with my own money at 20 years old.
Hell yeah.
Bought it with her own money, and she was so proud of herself. And I love the fact that people are getting the opportunity to live their best lives and do what they want to do with their time with Atlanta Performance. It's the best. It is the best.
Makes me happy to see you succeed, because you made the switch over to EAV like a year ago?
Yeah, about a year ago.
Yeah. And that seems, since I've known you, what, 6, 7?
About 6 years, yeah.
Yeah, years.
2016.
Since I've known you, it seems like this is the best place you've been in.
It's the happiest I've ever been as a coach. Like I said, we have a wonderful staff. We have phenomenal athletes, some of the just best people. And
you got a gym owner who seems to care about you.
Blake Browning, Ashley, and Blake Hussery, who's our manager, and Brandon Richardson. Those 4, they just make my day better. They just come in, hey bud, get a hug or whatever, but start my day off right. And they trust me completely to run my business and do my job. There's no micromanaging. There's no anything where they're like, well, you're not, it's nothing. They're just like, hey man, you're doing what you need to do, and you're doing it right. So congratulations, high five. Thank you for being here. It's nice when the owner of your gym says, we're glad you're here. We value what you bring to our facility. It's nice to hear that.
That's huge.
It's huge. It's huge. I mean, you can say that to your friends. It's thank you for being a wonderful friend to me. Thank you for cutting my hair. Thank you for cutting my daughter's hair. Thank you for starting First Tuesday Club with me. Like all these things that you do for me. But it's just, we have to make sure that we're saying these things to each other regularly, because I feel like we live in a society where people focus too much on the negative. We're not focusing on the positive. We're not focusing on the things that are going to build us. We focus on things that are going to build us, break everybody else down. Everybody can win. Everybody can win. Why can't we all be rich? Why can't we all be happy? Why can't we all be successful? Why can't we all be loved? Why can't we all have it all? We can. We absolutely can. It just takes just saying one nice thing to start the snowball.
I've been more conscious lately about just telling people I love them. Can't say it enough.
No.
And I got a message the other day from a buddy who, it was a video message where he just sent in a text message, but he filmed himself saying, hey, what's up? Miss you. He lives in another state. It was a short message, told me he loved me, and then that was it. And he sent it, and it was so much more personal than a phone call, or a voicemail. Or sometimes the phone rings, you're not always in a place to pick it up.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, I have to start doing this. This was like the best way. It made my day.
That's incredibly powerful. I mean, I'm feeling warm. From that.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna pick this up.
Too. I am too. I'm gonna send my daughter one tonight.
Yeah, you should. So,
thank you for that.
Yeah.
Damn, thank you for that.
I didn't even do it.
But you put the thought in my head.
Yeah.
But what's cool about telling someone that you love them is that it never goes out of style. It never feels forced. It always feels good. It's never one of these things where it's just like...
It's cool to be kind.
It's cool to be kind. It's cool to be kind. 2023, the year of kindness.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We need to try at least.
I think if we can pivot, I think what we're doing with First Tuesday Club is really spreading the kindness.
Yeah.
I think that's really been big, but
It's a service for sure.
God, it's amazing.
So First Tuesday Club is a club that we're the founders of,
You are?
and it is a men's group, men's meetup, and it's there for men's mental health, right?
Absolutely.
And we started it. Like, you started it as like a men's meetup, like it was just like it wasn't mental health focused.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't at first. I mean, it was more, hey, we just need to get up, get a beer, have a burger or something like that, meet up, because we got so busy after the pandemic kind of ended. Everybody got back to work and everybody just nose to the grindstone. Well, in the process, we were meeting up and doing this and this, but some people maybe could have benefited from something more. I mean, I know that I've lost friends in a timely fashion, and so have you. And sitting in that chair over there and cutting hair, and I said, hey, man, like, what if we did this? And then you said, well, what if we do this? And
As soon as you said, what if it was like we focused on men's mental health? Immediately a light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, that's it. That's exactly what this group should be. And we made the pivot with First Tuesday Club being like, hey, this is a men's mental health meetup.
Absolutely.
And if you need a friend, if you need someone to talk to, if you just need to come vent, this is your spot. And ever since we did that, we've had such a good reaction to it. And it's been validating because at first we're like, we're just going to put this out there.
Yeah.
And we've been going probably like 6 months now, almost,
about that, yeah.
when it's been like mental health focused. And every month I look forward to it.
I do too.
It's great. We meet up the first Tuesday of every month for 2 hours.
Yeah, 7 o'clock to 9.
It's usually a group of somewhere between 8 and 15 guys. And we just, there's never an agenda. We just talk.
And I think that's the best part.
We know what we're doing, but there's no focus. We never know what we're gonna talk about each night. And the last meetup, it really was like an alcohol focused night,
Yeah.
even though that wasn't the intention. But that's what we ended up talking about
Yeah,
most
sometimes
of
it
the
happens that way.
Yeah.
We talked about relationships. We've talked about fitness. We've talked about finances. I mean, it's going to help someone become a whole person. We want to develop the whole person. Was my mission statement for Atlanta Performance too, is that I didn't want to just develop athletes. I want to develop the whole person.
Right.
And I think it's important to celebrate not only the PRs in the gym, but also PRs in the classroom, PRs in the workforce, etc. I got a girl that I coach who's 16 who got straight A's on her last report card. And I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah,
Good
something
for
to
you.
celebrate.
Yeah, 102 in Spanish. Like, nailed it. I'm so excited. It's like my daughter. She brought home a fabulous report card. That kid's trying to get those Billie Eilish tickets. That's what that is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You have a deal?
Yeah, so last year the deal was if she got straight A's, I'd buy her a cell phone. I'd give her the money to buy the cell phone so she could earn it through the year. And she did. She got 1B all year. And I said, all right, instead of giving you money, I'll give you just a little bit less because, fair is fair. The deal is the deal. She got her phone. She was proud of herself. She bought it herself. She's proud of herself.
Yeah.
And it motivated her. And this year I said, well, hey, kiddo, Billie Eilish is your favorite. She's coming to town sometime next year, whenever the hell that's going to be, or maybe even 24. I said, bring up straight A's. We'll get those tickets.
Hell
She
yeah.
went bananas. And she's doing great. I mean, she's really keeping her pace.
She's a smart girl.
Smart kid. Really just sassy and smart and just kind. Where she got it from. But
So, First Tuesday Club, it's me, you, and Sly. And I'll have Sly on here at some point.
you got to have him on. God, he's incredibly interesting.
Such a cool dude. But it is an open invitation to anybody who wants to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it is growing, and we keep getting asked if we're going to do it more than once a month. I don't know exactly what that looks like if we do have it more than once a month, but it's been really encouraging because last year, I was in therapy, and before First Tuesday Club really started kicking off, I was asked about my friendships and what I did specifically for me. And that was a question that was really hard to answer.
Yeah.
I know I have friends, but as you get older, as a father and just as a man, those friendships really start to teeter off.
I know.
And it's hard to maintain a friendship as an adult man.
It is.
And it's something that men need. And First Tuesday Club has been so good at just connecting men and building friendships. And you don't have to come and say anything. If you just come and sit, and even if you're just listening to other men talk about their problems, it puts your problems into perspective.
I agree.
So even if you just came for the community of it, it's been huge.
Thank you for hosting us.
That was a big move too, because we were meeting in breweries and restaurants, and it was cool.
Yeah.
But
This is better.
But we moved it to Disco Salon, and it instantly was like, this is it. I think it's hilarious every week when we say this is a non-AA, non-religious meetup, even though we're in an old church.
Yeah.
But that's the draw of it. That's the appeal of First Tuesday. It isn't religious.
No.
It's not AA focused, even though we have a lot of sober guys there.
Sure.
But I think men are looking for something like this. That's a men's meetup. But if you're going to find something like this, you usually have to go to a church.
Usually.
To find a men's group.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that just don't want to do that.
Yeah. Like before First Tuesday really started kicking off, and I was like, where am I going to find community? I guess I'm going to go to a church to do a Wednesday night thing. I don't know.
Wednesday night potluck.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, I'm not knocking on it if that's what you got, but it definitely it wasn't for me.
Those things work.
Yeah.
And they work beautifully. It's not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
A is not for everyone.
Right.
Bowling leagues aren't for everyone. Throwing fucking darts on a Tuesday night is not for everyone. I mean, everybody has their own thing, and everybody has to have something where they find a place. And the fact that you, me, Sly, have this organization with no agenda, with no preachiness, we don't have a code or a verse that we speak at the beginning of meetings. I do think the coin idea is amazing.
That'd be cool.
I think we should get coins, and then if somebody, needs it, hand them the coin, and it has First Tuesday, 7 o'clock. So, I mean, it'd be a pain in the ass to make that, but there's got to be a way to do it. It'd be cool.
We can do it.
You see somebody that needs it, hey, man, here. A card, you drop a card. A card you get rid of. A coin sits in your pocket. It's got the weight to it. It's heavy. It's like those new credit cards they got that weigh 4 pounds. You see those damn things?
I love it.
These Amex cards that weigh 3 pounds, made out of metal.
We were at a Mexican restaurant recently, and someone pulled their Apple Card out, but they pulled it out a little bit too quick, and it flew out of their hands, went across the restaurant, just ding, ding, ding.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. First Tuesday Club, it's an open invitation.
Yeah. Thank you for believing in this project.
Oh, yeah.
It makes my day when somebody says, okay, I like this. Let's go. It's kind of what happened with Barbell Collective, too.
Yeah.
They just said, all right, this sounds great. Let's do it. Got a lot of no's before I got a lot of yeses on that one. But this was a slam dunk.
It was. And even though, it didn't start the way that it is now, and I'm sure in a year it's going to look different.
It's going to be
as it keeps growing.
It'll keep evolving, and that's the great thing, is that we don't have to force it to be what we want it to be, because it will be what it needs to be. It doesn't have to be anything overdone. It just needs to be simple and just flow, just good vibes, and I think that's what it's going to do. And I hope that a lot of the men in our group will continue to branch out into better friendships because of this, because that's the whole damn point.
Yep.
We need support. We as men need support groups. I mean, we always make the joke. It's a joke. We're not being serious here, but women go to brunch. I like brunch. You like brunch. There's still this opportunity, and like you said, it's absolutely needed in the community.
100%. Yeah, it's going to grow. And I don't know if we'll break off into chapters one day or what.
Maybe.
But for right now, when's the next one? February
7th.
February 7th.
7
o'clock.
Right
Disco
here at
Salon.
Disco.
You're invited.
Boys, come through. We'll hang out. We'll drink a liquid death.
Or a beer.
Or a beer, whatever you want. Yoshi's got a refrigerator full of delicious toys.
Got a Miller Lite with your name on it. It's like AA, but with beer.
They're gonna come after us. They really are.
Oops.
Oh.
I mean, I think I told the story last First Tuesday Club. I've been to an AA meeting before. I've been to an NA meeting before.
Okay.
Both times supporting friend.
Sweet.
And The one time I went to an NA meeting, there was a lot of people in the room, probably like 50, and the lady who was hosting, doing the introduction there, she's announced the beginning of the meeting, and then she said out loud, "Anybody had a slip, need a chip?" And I thought that was so fucking funny, and I immediately busted out laughing. Nobody else did at all. A couple people got up, and they got up and grabbed their chip, and hey, I'm starting over, get my one-day chip or whatever it was, and I felt like an asshole.
I bet you did.
But
yeah.
NA is a beautiful thing.
It
AA
is.
is a beautiful thing. It's just not for everybody.
Anything that helps people live better is a good thing.
Totally.
I told my mom the other night, the lottery's up to $1 billion again.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a ticket. Why the hell not, right?
Sure.
I told my mom, I said, if I ever win the damn lottery, I want to open like a big old building downtown somewhere, and anybody who's been homeless or anybody who's addicted to anything, they can have a place to go, and they can live there, and they can go through psychological evaluation, they can go through drug and alcohol panels to get clean, and then downstairs you have like a technical trade school, like HVAC, learning how to rebuild cars, so everybody could have something. And then on the top of the building would be a big garden that everybody could put there. They could grow food, so you can learn skills to get yourself back on your feet.
Start a commune.
I mean, I don't necessarily want to start a commune. It's not the cult of disco, darling. But I mean, it's at the same time, it's something that, is that something that we would need in the community? I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I've got all these wild ideas in my head, and every couple of months I'm thinking, this could be a good idea. I'm going to tell somebody about this, whether it's Barbell Collective or First Tuesday Club or whatever. This podcast that I do with my buddies about pro wrestling, everything starts with an idea. And if you have one person like you, like Ryan Sheeler, like anybody else, like Aisha Sukola, if they believe in it and they think that it can spread wings, it's going to happen. You may fall flat on your face, but try. You try it anyway. My biggest regrets in life are not trying to do things that I think I should have done.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be laying there in the hospice bed or wherever the hell I'm going to be and say, shit, I should have done this thing. Imagine what this could have done for whoever needed it.
That's one of the reasons why this podcast got started. I've put this off for a year.
I love that you're doing this podcast, buddy.
And
it's awesome.
I love it. But I did put it off for a year.
Why do you think you put it off?
Because I doubted myself. And I told myself the world doesn't need another podcast.
Nah, come on.
But yeah, I eventually got to the point of just telling myself, just fucking do it.
Good for you.
Yeah. If you do it and you fail, okay, at least you answered the question of what if.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I finally got this going.
Sure.
It's been a ton of fun already in 2 episodes in. But it's fun.
Yeah, think about what little pearls of wisdom people are going to ascertain from things like this. I mean, you're going to have a series. You've done 2. This is the second one.
So you always get that little bit of anxiety, or a lot of anxiety, when you hit post. And I know, talking to other hairstylists, showing their face on social media or talking on social media is like a huge anxiety-inducing thing. They can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But if you do want to grow your brand or just grow your network, like, it's pretty important for growing.
Yeah.
And it was a huge hurdle for me to get over that. And I was working with I had a coach last year, a business coach. And they're like, you have to do it. Get over your insecurities and just do it.
Yeah.
And I was forced to do it. And once I did it, they were completely right with the amount of engagement that you get on social media.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to do it.
Yeah.
And it took me, the first time I talked on Instagram, doing a story, it took me about 30 tries. And I was like, I hate the way my voice sounds. I hate the way my facial expressions look. And you're so hard on yourself. And there are things that other people probably won't even notice.
No.
But I'm really hard on myself.
So am I.
And you just got to get over it.
Yeah. We're our biggest critics. But you know what? It's so important that people know the man behind the chair.
Yeah. It's
so important.
Yeah, it's I'm realizing that I'm a pretty reserved person. I'm not the loudest person in the room. I'm really introspective, really introverted. And that's one reason why I loved hair so much in the beginning when I was 18 getting started, was I was quiet and introverted, and this was a job that forced me to get out of my shell. And you have to talk.
It's awesome.
You don't talk, like, it doesn't matter if it's the best hair ever. People are going to feel not validated, and you have to be extroverted and put yourself out there and talk. Tell people that what you just did was beautiful.
Yeah.
And all that to say, you just got to get out of your head and do it. And no matter what it is, you just got to do it. Whatever you're thinking about doing, stop doubting yourself so much and just fucking do it.
And I think that's the biggest plot line in this conversation that you and I have had today is get out of your fucking head and do it.
Do you remember, I think this was probably like 8 years ago, Shia LaBeouf, back when he had ponytail, he did this ridiculous thing where he was just screaming into a green screen, just do it. Do you remember this?
No.
God, I wish I could pull it up and show you.
Damn.
But I think about it all the time.
I'll check that out when
I'll send it to you.
get off the air.
I'll send it to you.
That's nuts.
And I think he intentionally did it on a green screen so people would just make memes of him doing all this random stuff. But
Yeah, kinda smart.
it's a very Shia LaBeouf thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think about it all the time. Just do it.
Yeah.
Whatever you're thinking about, do
Just
it.
do it.
Just do it.
There's no better time than now. I mean, if you're...
You survived COVID,
Yeah.
and now it's hopefully more in the rear view, and the world's going on. As scary as it is, the world's going on.
Think about the parallels between our generation and our grandparents' generation. Now that you said it, we survived the pandemic. They survived. Some of them, I mean, Spanish flu was in 1918, so very few of them were around for that. But a lot of them were born after that.
Right.
World War II and Vietnam and all these things. Stock market crashes, Great Depression, all this other stuff. We've had 2 great stock market crashes in our lifetime. Shit, in the last 15 years, 2008 and now. And we've survived a pandemic. Unfortunately, there will probably be some worldwide conflicts in our lifetime. But
More than we've already gone through.
Yeah, more than we've already gone through. But we're still here, and we have these advances in technology, the internet, YouTube. AI is the big thing now.
It's crazy.
Did you see these things that somebody put all the countries of the world into an AI and said to make a villain?
Oh, yeah. I've seen a few of those.
Holy shit. They're like Mortal Kombat characters.
Yeah.
Like, they make a video game out of that.
They've done it for every state in America,
That's
too. I saw one of those.
crazy. It was cool. The German one looked like John Cena, which I thought was really hysterical. And then the Russian one, the tiger. That was neat. I figured it would have been a bear, Russian bear. But
So I've been using the
Amazing.
Chat GPI a lot. I love playing with it.
tell me about that.
And it's super, you could just use your Google account and just start asking it questions.
All right.
And when I first started playing with it, I was like, this is going to replace so many jobs. And it probably will down
Probably
the road.
will.
But right now, it is limited. But I've been using it for just the most random stuff. To, like, one of my stylists had to write an official letter. I don't know if it was like for a passport, whatever, describing a friend. And she's like, I don't know how to start this letter. I'm like, let's use a Chat GPI.
Yeah.
What's your friend's name? Blah, blah, blah. What kind of format do you want this in? Blah, blah, blah. And then put it in, and it wrote a very official letter describing her friend. I'm like, just use this as an outline.
That's
fill in
nuts.
the details, and then
Wow.
there you go. And she's like, that was so helpful.
I know.
It's so interesting. You can ask it to write you a poem
Yeah.
about anything. You can ask it to write a poem about Disco Salon, and it would.
Neat.
And yeah, it's limited, but if you are like having writer's block about something,
Uh-huh.
writer's block about a post you want to make, but
Sure.
you know the subject, just use a Chat
That's
GPI. It'll,
amazing.
it'll send you in the right direction, and you
Yeah.
can just cut and paste, put your own spin on it.
I'll be damned.
I know.
I don't know a whole lot about it, but as soon as you said it, I knew what it was because it was on CNBC on Friday, and that company's not been around more than a month or two, and they're already saying its valuation is $29 billion,
Yeah.
which is insane. So by that logic, when they go public, and they will, that's another company that's going to be worth $1 trillion.
Right. And if Google doesn't buy it or come out with their own,
They're in trouble.
it's crazy because I don't think,
Right.
you know, the term, if you don't know something, you just Google it.
Right.
The term Google it has been
It's in our vernacular now.
Yeah, that's the phrase when you don't know something.
We don't Bing it. We don't ask Jeeves. We Google it.
You don't Google it on the Yahoo.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
But I think the phrase Google it is gone, because what AI is going to do is if you were looking for an answer for something and you Google it, it's going to give you web page results, which you then have to find. The answer's there. Then you have
just
to
gotta
find
go.
it. But if you ask an AI a question, it is going to give you an answer,
Damn.
because it can instantly go through those thousands of web pages, get a general idea, and give you an answer. Pretty crazy. Yeah, it's still new and it still has a lot of flaws in it. It's not completely there, but in a few years, it's going to be wild.
AI, are you going to take over the world and kill us all?
It
Yes,
has an answer
of
for
course we are. You stupid humans.
Yeah, I mean, Termination.
Cue
Terminator is
the Terminator 2 Judgment Day theme song. Good Lord.
So,
What a world.
what's your goals with Atlanta Performance this year?
I want to hire another coach. Onboarded another coach every year since we started. We're in our 4th year. So, start with me, then Allie, then Alanis, then Logan. I'm going to take some interns in April and just see who wants to coach. There's a lot of people out there that want to coach. There's a lot of people out there that want to learn the skills of Olympic weightlifting and sports performance. Working with Parkinson's people, working with people with strokes, working with people that are in wheelchairs. People that want to live healthier, happier lives, longer lives. I mean, I like the idea of seeing a large group of athletes. We've already got a great team. And to add a few at a time would be nice.
Yeah.
We've had some people recruiting for us, which is lovely. We've had some people that want to sign up for remote coaching, which they can do their training at home for a little pennies a day. What I do is I like to take inventory of everything we're doing every month and just follow up with our coaching staff and say, hey, this is what we've done. This is what we're doing. This is where we're going. And we sit down and we have breakfast or we have dinner or whatever about once a quarter, just as a health checkup. I like to know I think everybody likes to know what they're doing right. I like to know what I'm doing wrong. And I don't know why I'm that way. Maybe it goes back, everything goes back to childhood, right? But as much as I like to know, hey, you did, this is great, this is great, this is great, I know that there's things that I'm missing the mark on because I'm a very busy person. I mean, I'm running multiple businesses, single parent. I know there are places where I miss the mark. And it's not the rarity, it's more the norm. And I'm humble enough to admit that. So
Sometimes you have to ask for it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the mark of a really good friend. They call you out on bullshit or tell you when your breath stinks.
Yeah.
Or because you're not going to know those things unless your real friends tell you.
I know.
Keep you in check. What I like to do in my business is I do one-on-ones with my employees once a month, usually like a 30-minute check-in, but that is their specific time to just tell me like, hey, how you feeling in the salon? Is there something you want to address?
Sweet.
Because if you aren't checking in like that and giving people specific time to speak your mind, you might miss out on something.
Yeah, and they hold it, and then when
holds you accountable too.
Yeah. No, I think that's wonderful advice. I've had 2 friends this week smarten me up on some things, which is great because I started this year like just in a bad headspace.
Really?
This is the first time I've started a year in a bad headspace, and I don't know if it was because the holidays were so fun, everything was exciting, and then everything just got back to normal. But the first 3-4 days of the year just didn't feel good, didn't feel right. Everything just seemed out of place. And a friend of mine, we had a business meeting, and he gave a very impassioned speech. Flip the switch. A lot of the things he said spoke to me. And that really helped me turn the corner. And then I had Allie smarten me up about some things, and a couple of my athletes smarten me up about some things. And now I've got my focus back. And that's where I live. I live in that mode. I live in that focus.
I rarely see you out of that mode.
Yeah, right. I know.
So what did they say to bring you back?
It was just like, there were some specific things that I'll leave out of the show. But the basic thing was we all just get off balance from time to time.
Totally.
Just take a second to realize that you're the head coach of this team and everybody's looking to you to lead. And I don't necessarily always feel that way. I feel like everybody that coaches on our team should be leading. Allie does a phenomenal job of leading. Alanis does a phenomenal job of leading. Logan does a great job of leading. If you're a part of our coaching staff, you're a leader. It's where it is part of the protocol. It's part of the plan. And like I said, I get distracted from time to time. I'm just like, doo-doo-doo. So to be harnessed back in so I can stay on this focused path is very important to me. So I'm incredibly grateful that I have people in my life that will just hook me and say, hey, do your thing.
Yeah, you need to be checked every once in a while.
I need it, man. I need it. I do not have all the answers. I will do my goddamnedest to get the answers. That's the beauty part of having people, like-minded people around you, is that if you can't figure something out for an athlete, a client, for a friend, for whoever, we've got this massive support group to lean on to make sure. And I thank the Lord every night for these people, that they found me and chose to stand with me. Allie, Logan, Alanis, I love you all. Thank y'all. Team AP, y'all the best.
I'm glad you're my friend, man.
I'm glad you're my friend. Jesus, our friendship is best. I feel like there's more I can do for you. You do a lot for me.
Nah.
Yeah, but we ain't keeping score.
No.
There's no good friendship that keeps score.
You could buy me a beer at the end of 37 Hair.
Bet your ass. Buy you a case. I'll drink one with you. You kidding?
All right. Thanks for doing this with me, man.
Hey, this was my pleasure. Thank you, brother.
Cheers, Coach.
Cheers to you, brother. Should have worn the tuxedo.
Next time, we'll both be wearing tuxedos.
Enjoy yourself.